Hi guys, as in the last lecture, we learnt about the strings and its implementation. Today we will learn something called as Boolean comparisons or operators. Boolean operators. So basically the Boolean operators returns us a value of true or false. As in the data types, we learned that Boolean only has the two values, which is true and false, where true represents 1 and false is represented by 0. So while using these operators, we will get only the two values, which are the true and false. So the first operator is the equal to, which checks the equality. Next is the greater than. Next is the less than. Next is the greater than equal to. Next is the less than equal to. And not equal to. Let us comment this out and check the each individual operators separately. So let's take the first equality. So we will print. So we will check whether if 1 is equal to 1. We got a value true. As I said earlier, Boolean comparison or operators will only return true or false. So if we change this to 2, so this is false, as 1 is not equal to 2. So this double equality checks whether the both sides are equal or not. So 1 is equal to 2. So this is a false statement. If we change it to 1 again, then we will get yes, 1 is equal to 1. So we can change to any number as 10 and it returns true. If we check, it will return false. So what is the main difference between the single equal to and double equal to? This usually assigns assign the value to the variable, as here while we use a variable x and assign it a value of 10. So here 10 value is stored into this variable x. So this is assigned to this. Here we check whether if 10 is equal to means 10 is equal to 1. So here this double equal to checks the equality, whether this is equal to this. Let us use here the variable x and now see it will return true, as 10 is equal to 10, as this is stored in x using single equal to, and double equal to checks whether both are same or not. So similarly, if we use the second greater than symbol, so let's take 10 is greater than 5, so it returns true. If we type here 11, so 10 is greater than 11, it is a false statement, so it will return a false. If we change it to x instead as a variable, it will return false, as 10 is not greater than 10. So here if we put a equal to sign and then execute, then it will return us true, as 10 is greater than or equal to. So while it is equal to x, so it will return true. Else if when we use only greater than, we require this number to be greater than this number. So while we run this, it returns true. So similarly, if we check 20 is less than x, or let's change it to value 9 and then run, it will return a false value. So if we change this to 50, then it will return true. So similarly in this, less than equal to represents, let's change this to 60 and see 60 is not less than equal to 50, so it returns a false. And if we change it to our previous output as 20, then we will get a true. And if we change this to 20, so it will return true. So double equal to sign checks the equality of both these sides. As we use in the maths the greater than and less than sign, similarly we can use in this Python to return a value as true or false. So to check whether it's equal to or not equal to, let us take 20 is not equal to x, where x is 10. So if we run this, it will give a true because 20 is not equal to, let's change it to hard-coded value as 10 for better understanding. So this will return true as 20 is not equal to 10. So if we change it to 20 and then check, it will return a false because 20 is not equal to 20 is given, but it's actually 20 is equal to 20. So here it gets an contradiction and it returns a value as false. So strings instead of integers. So let's check 20 20 and then run, it will return false as both is same. If we change to some other value, then it will return true as 1 is not equal to 20 in string also. Let's take a and here ag. So here we got a true because a is not equal to ag. If we take a and a as same, then it will return false value. So Python is a case sensitive language. So here this a and this a means capital A and small a are different in Python. So if we run this, so capital A is not equal to a, therefore it returns true as this statement is correct. So if we change it to small a, then it will return false because both are equal. And if we check equal to, then it returns true. And if we change it to capital A, then it returns false. So here we can also check greater than or less than in the strings. So let us change this to Andy and this to Annie. So while we compare this, we get a false. And if we change this to greater than, then we get a true. So why did we get this? So first it will compare a is greater than a. So as both are same, then it will compare n is greater than n. As this is also same, now it will compare n is greater than d. So here n is greater than d. Why? Because d has the alphabetical order as 4. So d comes before in the alphabetical order and n comes after in the alphabet. So now here it will compare n is greater than d. So here it returns true. Why? Because in the alphabetic sequence, first, so in the alphabetical sequence, d has the order of 4 as it is in the 4th position in the alphabetical sequence, and n has a alphabetical order as 14. As it comes farther in, 14 is greater than 4. Therefore, this returns as true. And if we change this to less than and then run, so it returns false. Why? Because this condition converts to this: n is less than d. But here 14 is not less than 4. So here it gets contradiction and then returns false. So when we type greater than, then it satisfies the condition and returns true. So these were the Boolean comparisons. So there is something called as in place operators, which is basically something where while we are performing some operations, let's assume we require a statement as for something variable is equal to variable itself plus some constant. This is a variable and it is equal to itself plus a constant. So for writing such a big line, Python has a reduction to this operation. We can also call this similar operation as var plus, means we have to use this operator. Whichever operator we will use, we have to first type that, then equal to, and the constant we have to add to it. So this is a format in which we can add some constant to itself, means variable plus constant. Instead of writing such a big line of code, we can just simplify it into a simple code, and this operator is called as in place operator. So here in this in place operator, we can use any operator where operator is equal to plus, minus, multiplication, division, plus, minus, multiplication, division, quotient, remainder, exponent, and all other operators we can use in this format. Variable is equal to operator is equal to constant, means we can here, if we put here add the plus sign, then we will get variable plus constant, and it will be stored into this variable itself. So if we type the minus, then we will get variable minus constant as variable, and it will be get stored into variable. So here we will get variable is equal to variable plus operator. So this sentence when used in real operators becomes is equal to variable, operator, and constant. So here operator refers to this, so we can here add a plus or minus or divide or the modulus or any operator we can use here. So let's assume a variable named var, and let's take its value as 0 and then take a constant value as 1, and then let's take variable is equal to variable plus constant, and then print the value of the variable. So now we'll get here 1. Let's comment this out, and now we got the 1. So if we change this and put here plus equal, then also we got the same value. Let's change this to 2. So as variable was 0 and we added 2 to it, so we got the answer 2. Let's take this as 10, and now we will get the value 12 as variable itself. So here the operation performed is variable is equal to variable plus 2. So here the variable value is 10, so it gets stored into this as 12, and 12 is then outputted, and then 12 is then outputted in the print. So this is the basically the case between this. So if we print a minus sign, so if we type a minus sign there and then execute, we will get as 8, as 10 minus 2 is 8. Let's take here the constant. So 10 minus 1 is 9, so we got a 9. So we can also multiply this 10 by, let's take 20, and then we got 200, as 20 into 10 is 200. So instead of typing such a long code of variable is equal to variable plus variable into constant, we can just simplify it to operator equal to and then. So similarly we can also use here exponent. Let's take a small value, 10 raised to 2, we got 100. If we take 20, then we here got 10 raised to 20. Now it's time for a task. So the today's task is to, we are rolling a die. So if we get 1 on the die, then we have to print. If we get 6 on the die, then we have to print out of the house. So you have to create such a program when we get a 1 on the die. So let's assume it as we are playing a game, and in it if we get 1 on the die, then we have to print high, else if we get 6 on the die, then we have to print out of house. So let's put double quotes to understand more clearly. So we have to print this. That's all for this session. Let's continue tomorrow.